for Game Week 24. I told you to consider these players as your captaincy choices, and they all gave massive returns. All right, so for Game Week 24, as I said, I told you to consider some players as your captains, and I told you to consider Bruno Fernandes, who gave massive returns. I told you to also consider Joao Pedro, who also gave massive returns, even though he didn't start the game. He was brought in later, and he still gave massive returns. And I also told you to consider Saka. Rather, unfortunately, Saka picked up an injury right before the game, but he was replaced with Madueke, and he provided the top points this game week. So could we say he would have given so many points? Let's leave it as that. But the others gave massive returns, which is a plus. So let's see how the game week went. So with Game Week 24, this is how the fixtures were looking. So it started on Saturday. We had a 1-1 draw between Brighton and Everton. Then Arsenal beating Leeds United by 4-0. Bournemouth beating Wolves by 2-0. Chelsea beating West Ham by 3-2. It was a match of different halves. So each half was won by a different team. Very interesting match. Liverpool beat Newcastle at home by 4-1. Can we say Liverpool are back? Hopefully, let's see how it goes. We have Brentford. They beat Aston Villa by 1-0. Manchester United beating Fulham by 3-2. Very interesting one. Crystal Palace playing a 1-1 draw with Nottingham Forest. City also playing a 2-2 draw with Spurs. So this match too, let's say it was a match of different halves. Very interesting one there. And on Monday, Sunderland beats Burnley comfortably at home by 3-0. So that's how it was looking for the fixtures. So heading into so the average so far for the game week was 55. Very interesting there. So if you had anything below 55, then you know you are in for some improvement. So the highest being 126. Let's see what this manager did different. So he played his bench boost. With the bench boost, he had the likes of Keller on the bench. He had Gibbs White. He has Matson. He had Evalison. And in all, he had somewhere around almost 22 points, which is a plus. So kudos to him. His team, he had the likes of Timber, Gabriel Senese, Cucurella. He has Sabosala. He had Verts. He had Semenyo, Bruno Fernandes, Joao Pedro, Higo, Ekitike. So with his team, every single player gave him massive returns. There was no 2 points, 1 point. They all gave him some good returns, and that is a plus from him. Very, very solid one from this manager. So you consider my previous video, you realize that I mentioned some of these players. I told you to consider some of these players, and I'm sure he listened, so he had it. Kudos to him. So any other manager who also listened would be looking at a team something like this, if not close to what he had, but very close to it. So let's see what some other managers worldwide are looking. So the overall, so this manager, he's risen to number 1 position. He had 82 points. So he had the likes of Gabriel, he had the likes of Bruno, he had the likes of Higo, he had Haaland, he had Baldwin. So these are the constants. So for Game Week 24, you had Gabriel, you had Bruno, you had Haaland, you had Higo, you had Verts. You should be looking at massive points. You had either Joao Pedro or Semenyo. You should also be looking at some good points. So we can see some constants in there. So this manager had Gabriel, he had Bruno, he had Enzo, he had Haaland. So some constants there. And I mentioned some of these players for you to really consider getting them into your team. So if you listen, you should be seeing some massive points here. So this manager also rose to number 3. So his team, he had the likes of Gabriel, he had Verts, he had Bruno, he had Haaland. So very good one there for him. So that's why I was looking for the top managers. So kudos to all of them. Let's see how the fixtures are coming in for the subsequent game week. So it's always important to consider that something to think about before you go into your transfers for game week 25. So there's a likelihood of a double game week coming up. So because of the cup finals and all. We could have a few double game weeks coming up. So would give you some advice as to how to go about that as well. But don't rush to use so many chips just because of a double game week. There's just going to be some few teams, and you want to be very strategic with how you use your team. So you could aim for maximum points during that game week and look for a very good game week. Use your chips, and you would outrun, or you would outplay most managers because you did well during the double game week, and you're also going to do very well in a week where everyone is averaging. So that is a good plan. So Arsenal have some good run coming up. So most definitely consider your Arsenal players. Aston Villa as well. So they made some few transfers with Tammy Abraham returning to the EPL. He's had so much experience, so he knows how to go about it. It's going to be a very good addition to complement Watkins, and it's also going to help the team in general. Bournemouth have a good run too coming up. Brentford have some okay fixtures coming up. Brighton have some okay fixtures coming up. Burnley have some okay fixtures coming up, but there's a Burnley team that have been struggling, so you wouldn't really want to consider them. Chelsea have some continue with their good run, so most definitely we continue to look at some Chelsea players who will be mixing it up in there. Joao Pedro is in good form. You have Palmer too. You have Enzo Fernandez. You have there are so many players to look at, so we'll look at that later onwards. You have Crystal Palace, they have a good run coming up. Let's see how the manager is able to manage things. But you could get some few differentials from this team, but you'd want to be very cautious. Everton have a good run also coming, somewhat good run coming up. Fulham have some somewhat good run coming up. Leeds somewhat good fixtures coming up. Liverpool after the City match have some good fixtures coming up, and you should note they are playing City at home, so it could be a very dicey fixture for City as they come to us. They go away to Anfield, so you most definitely want to, if you have some as Liverpool players, keep them, see how it goes for you. Manchester United have some okay fixtures coming up. They are in good form. Let's see whether they're able to continue with their run. So you'd also want to consider them. You have Newcastle. They have some somewhat tricky fixtures coming up. They are not too consistent now. Can't really tell what's going on. Nottingham Forest have some somewhat tricky fixtures coming up. Spurs have some tricky fixtures coming up. Spurs have been all over the place. They've shown some good performances here and there, but with this set of run coming up, you'd want to be very cautious with your selection. That is, if you want any Spurs player. Then Sunderland have some tricky fixtures coming up. They've been very difficult to play this season. Still, they've not lost at home. The only team yet to lose at home. So let's see how they go about this, how they navigate their way. You have West Ham. They have some somewhat okay fixtures coming up. They've had some few additions, so let's see how it goes for them. You have some players in good form in there, low key. You could really consider to help your team. Wolves to have some somewhat good fixtures coming up, so you could get some differentials from there as well, and it's going to be a plus so far. So I ended up with 58 points. As I said, I'm using a different. I just want to be bold, go for somewhat different players, not players that everyone is going for. So instead of Bruno, that was the most selected for Manchester United, I went for Mbeumo. Bruno was the most likely candidate, but I went for Mbeumo, somewhat different selection. So that is how my team was looking, very basic. The subsequent game weeks, we are going to change it up and go very hard, because we also need to prove. We've proven so many stats over the season, from differentials to low rank players to being bold. So then we also go very hard and see how that also goes for us. So before we do go, kindly hit that subscribe button, like. Let's grow this channel together. We are out.